What is up, guys? So I'm finally back and into the build videos once again, and this is going to be my first one. I know a lot of you were probably expecting a Nightblade build video to be first, but nope. I've been working on my Warden a little bit, and to be honest, it was really hard to find a Magicka build that I actually liked. I tried a lot of different things. I tried Heavy Shackle Breaker, I tried Frost and everything, and that seems to be what most people are going towards is the Frost builds. So I made something a little bit more unique and a little bit different. So let's go ahead and jump right into the gear. No time to waste. Alright, so as you can see right here, for my monster set, I am using Troll King. You do not have to put the triglyphs on these. I just happen to have them on there because I was using them for a hybrid build back when I was running my hybrid Sork. So you don't have to run the Hakijos on these two pieces, but you can put them on the chest piece if you want. So Troll King gives you some added survivability since you are going to be in light armor and you're going to be pretty squishy. Trust me, I tried heavy armor and it was not working as well as this build was. So I wanted to run my defense on my monster helm. So Troll King is my choice. You could also run Blood Spawn. You could also run, I think Zon is the new one. Any kind of monster helm you want to see fit, but I like using Troll King as my monster set. So on the body, I am running the new Bright Throat's Boast, which comes from the Murkmire zone. Now what it does is it's basically Bone Pirate except for Magicka. So it's got the exact same stats and the same reading except for Magicka, basically. Now, since we're already talking about this one and how it has the same effect as Bone Pirate and you have to have a drink buff active, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that Witch Mother's Potent Brew is the best food to be using since it is a drink. So this is going to be my second set. I wanted to have some nice sustain in this set without having to use Necropotence. I tried Necropotence, but it had good max Magicka, but the sustain was not as good as having this one. Before I keep going though, I am in the non-CP campaign right now because I do play this in Battlegrounds a lot. So I wanted to show you guys the max stats while you're in Battlegrounds, what it's going to look like. When you're in Cyrodiil, however, your max Magicka is going to go up to probably, I think, 38k is where it sits at. Your stamina is going to be higher, and I think your health will be a little bit higher as well. So I wanted to run it in non-CP just to show you guys what it's going to look like when you're in Battlegrounds. Now the next set that I'm using is a very interesting one, and it took some doing to try and make it work with the skills that Warden has. But the next one is War Maiden. I really like this set for Magicka builds. I tried it on my Mag Blade, but I'm doing something else with my Mag Knight Blade right now. So I put it on him. I had an epiphany early in the morning, and I got up and I put these sets on and I tried it out, and it was working great. So War Maiden spell critical, maximum Magicka spell damage, and it adds 386 spell damage to your magic damage abilities. So you do a lot of extra damage that it's not showing on the stat sheet because all of your abilities are actually going to do magic damage. So it says we only have 2,000 spell damage here, but you can add that 386 on top of it, and then the Berserker enchant is going to add you another 400. You should be up to close to 4,000. Not including the Blue Betty buff and everything as well. So we've got War Maiden. I put spell damage enchants on all three pieces. If you find yourself not able to sustain this way, you can put a Magicka Recovery glyph on it. Magicka Recovery is 1,500 right now. I don't find myself struggling too badly with this number, but it might be a little bit low for some of you, so you guys can put a Mag Recovery glyph on one of the jewels if you want. So I'm running it in Inferno Staff, which is weird on a Warden because you'd think you'd want to run an Ice Staff, but I actually wanted to have the extra dot with the Inferno Staff. So I'm running that instead with the flame damage glyph. Oh, that's another thing you can run for your monster helm. You can run Valken Scoria because you actually do have a couple of dots that you can proc Valken Scoria with. So I kind of switch between Valken and Troll King. So I'm running Sharpened on my front bar because I want to have that extra penetration. You can run Nirnhoned if you wish. I didn't really want to use my transmute crystals on that because right now I'm working on so many builds that I have so many transmute crystals that I need. So I'm not going to put those to waste. So Sharpen on the front bar, Inferno Staff. I put a flame damage glyph. You can put a different type of enchantment if you want. On the back bar, I'm running War Maiden's Resto Staff. I'm running the Berserker enchant. And I'm running Infused so that I can get that Berserker enchant to proc pretty easily. So that's pretty much it for the gear. If I miss something, put it down in the comments and I'll reply. But yeah, it's been a little while since I've made one of these videos, so I'm a little all over the place. Let's see. We're looking at 7,500 spell penetration, which is actually pretty damn high. So that's not bad. We've got low stam recovery, which is arguably one of the worst parts about this build, but it's not too big of a deal. We're not relying on crit very much, so there's not a lot of crit. Our resistance is not super high, but the skills kind of make up for it, so don't worry about that. They do get buffed up a little bit. I'll show you all this stats buffed up once we get to the skill section, which we're going to now. Alright, so we're in the skills. Now, a lot of you are going to be like, okay, this is weird and probably doesn't work. I know a lot of Magicka Wardens are using Force Shock as your spammable, but it's not working out as well for me. First of all, because War Maiden does helps with magic damage. This is elemental damage. This is not going to work. However, Cliff Racer does do magic damage, and this tooltip gets a lot higher. And I've noticed that when I'm in a BG, I can hit someone from a huge distance away, and it'll just chunk their health away. It's particularly good against magic classes that can't roll dodge a lot, but it works just fine against roll dodging mechanics because I'm going to show you guys a combo that you can do with this build. So, Screaming Cliff Racer is my primary spammable. Doesn't cost too much. It's pretty good. I don't really spam it very much unless I'm just trying to hit someone that's pretty far away, but I do use it in the combo. Deep Fissure, I don't really need to talk about this too much because this ability is just great. So it's going to help us with our spell penetration when it hits. It's going to do a lot of damage. You guys know what this ability does. Now, the next one I'm using is Dampen Magicka. I tried Harness Magicka for a little bit extra sustain, but the shields were just not big enough. So I went for Dampen instead, which seems to be working pretty good for me. If you want to use Harness for more sustain, that's up to you, but you're probably going to die a lot easier. So I wouldn't do that, personally. Next is Flame Clench. The only reason I'm running Flame Clench is because it's my only CC for the most part, and it is also a part of the combo as well. So for the combo, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to press Deep Fissure, then you're going to want to Flame Clench them, you're going to want to use your Bear Ultimate, and then you're going to want to Screaming Cliff Racer into them. By then, they should be dead or very close to dead. This is assuming you have your dots from your back bar on as well. Now, Bird of Prey, you want that 8% Berserk passive. The stamina recovery really helps as well, and the movement speed can come in handy. So I just would always keep this slotted on your front bar for sure. Next, we're using the Bear Ultimate, and primarily the reason we're using the Bear is because he deals magic damage, and when you're actually able to activate his ult, it actually does a shit ton of damage, and it kind of acts as an execute. As you can see, it says deals 100% more damage to enemies below 25%. So it acts sort of as your execute because wardens don't have an execute. So the bear actually does quite a bit of passive damage. It does some stunning for you, and the ult activation only costs 75 ultimate. So that's great. the bear has been okay with me. Sometimes he doesn't do what I want him to, but for the most part, he does his job. Now, on the back bar, the first one we're running is Fetcher Infection, and I've got to say, out of all the abilities on the Warden, this is the one I'm most impressed with. This does quite a bit of damage over time. We're using the Infection Morph, which deals 50% more damage on each cast. So a lot of times, when I'm fighting in like a group of people in a battleground, I'll just apply this to every single person in there, and it does more damage based on the second cast. So the second person that I cast on is usually the one I attack because they're taking a lot more damage from this ability. And I can't tell you guys how many times this ability's actually just finished people off. So you're going to want to start out with that ability and then go into your combo. Now I'm using Living Trellis as my spammable heal. I tried using the Leeching Vines and I didn't like it. Usually when I'm getting low and stuff, I don't want to keep fighting. I like to retreat and get LOS a little bit. So I like using Living Trellis instead for that that little burst heal that it gives. Healing Ward, not much to talk about there. Ice Fortress is what's going to give you more physical and spell penetration, resistance rather, and it's going to give you that minor protection. So have this up at all times. The worst part about this build is how many buffs you have to maintain. There's only like, what, 5? Gotta maintain Blue Betty, Ice Fortress, Living Trellis, and Bird of Prey, which you don't always have to have running. So, there's a lot of spamming when it comes to maintaining your buffs and stuff. But other than that, it does some really good burst damage, and it works very well. Now, Blue Betty, everybody knows this is a great ability and a must-have on any Magicka Warden, or Stamina Warden for that matter. It's just one of their best abilities, acts as a cleanse, and gives you that major sorcery and restores Magicka to you. So, I mean, you have to have this going at all times. Ice Fortress I don't have going at all times. I try and keep Living Trellis on me anytime I'm near somewhere where enemies would be. So that's what they look like. You have to have the bear slotted on the back bar as well as the front bar. That's kind of one of the other downsides, but like I said, he's the only one that does magic damage. So all of our abilities do magic damage to the target, other than Flame Clench, but we need Flame Clench to be able to have that CC so that we can combo. Alright, so trying not to make this too long of a video, so let's go on to the next part. I'm going to skip the champion points in this particular video because I don't have them set up just yet. I have not brought this build to Cyrodiil yet either. So for the champion points, just put in your basic Magicka champion point setup, and it should work just fine. Now, I already talked about the food I'm using. I'm using Witch Mother's Potent Brew. For the mundus I'm using the Apprentice for that extra damage. You can use the Atronach or the I forgot what the other one is. You can use either the Max Magicka one or the Magicka Recovery one if you want, if you feel like you've got enough damage. But I like having that extra spell damage on mine. I do not run Werewolf or Vampire. I have taken Vampire off of almost all of my characters since coming back, except for my Stamblade. And that's just because I do a lot of ganking on him, so I kind of need Vampire. But every other character I have is no longer a Vampire at all. I do have Werewolf on a couple of my characters as well. I really think they need to buff Vampire. I can't tell you how many times I get Dawnbreakered in a single round at a battleground. So that's a conversation for another video, though. Alright, I think I've hit everything, right? Yeah, I think I've hit it all. So next thing is going to be the gameplay footage. Also, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and if you did, like, comment, subscribe down in the comment section. Also, I have a link to my Discord. I have a guild in the game that I am actually trying to build up and start a nice little community. There's a video based on that as well if you guys are interested. If you're interested in just coming and hanging out in my Discord, that'd be awesome as well. Sorry for kind of rambling and stopping. I'm a little nasally and sick, but I did want to get this video done. So, yeah, here it is. Enjoy the gameplay footage, and I'll see you guys in the next build video. See ya. Hey guys, just wanted to show you this product that I'm selling real quick. It includes coffee, weight loss supplements, CBD oils, hangovers, sleep and energy patches, mood stimulators, and much more. If you'd like to support me and my channel, check out the links in the description.
Ringa pakkia, vai takia, kakki no ne okki.